We are going to look at conversions between systems. Primarily, we are working with what is considered the household systems, which are measurements that are common within the United States, and the metric system, which is used worldwide and is most commonly used in the healthcare setting. These are the ones that I am asking you to memorize. There are many others, but you do not have to memorize all of them. The ones that we are not memorizing will be given to you on an assessment when you need them. So for cup, you need to memorize that 1 cup is 8 ounces. For ounces, you need to memorize that 1 ounce is 30 milliliters. This ounce is the liquid ounce, or sometimes called the fluid ounce. For tablespoons, you need to memorize 1 tablespoon is 15 milliliters. For teaspoons, 1 teaspoon is 5 milliliters. For drops, you will not be memorizing a conversion, but you need to be familiar with the abbreviation, which is GTT. That abbreviation comes from the Latin word, which is why it does not connect well with our English word. You will also notice that the abbreviations are given for cup, ounce, tablespoon, and teaspoon. You need to be able to recognize those as well. Outside of liquids then, there are a handful of conversions that you need to memorize. The first ones are for temperature. So if you want to find the Fahrenheit temperature, you take the Celsius temperature times 1.8 and then add 32. I can always remember that freezing in Celsius is 0 degrees and freezing in Fahrenheit is 32 degrees. So when I want a Fahrenheit temperature, just from memorizing what freezing is, I know that I want a larger number than what the Celsius scale gives. In order to get a larger number mathematically, there are 2 things that we can do, and both are part of this formula. To get a larger number, we multiply and we add. And so that helps me remember that to get Fahrenheit, I should be multiplying by 1.8 and adding 32. If I want to get a Celsius temperature, the operations are reversed. So in order to get a Celsius temperature, I will need to subtract and divide. And those 2 operations I associate with getting a smaller answer. So that's helpful to me in memorizing these 2 formulas. For length, there are 2 conversions that you need to know. So the first one is that an inch is 2.54 centimeters. Sorry that I clicked on the wrong thing there. And second is that a foot is 12 inches. Then for weight, there are 2 conversions that you need to memorize. The first one is not the exact conversion. So in week 1, we did use the exact conversion, which had more decimal places. In healthcare, we commonly use that there are 2.2 pounds to every 1 kilogram. We also need to be able to convert weights that are given in ounces. When we use the word ounce with weights, it is a different use of the word than when we use it with liquids. So a liquid ounce and a weight ounce are not the same. So with weight, we will have 16 ounces to 1 pound. 16 ounces of liquid would be 2 cups. 2 cups does not weigh 1 pound. Okay. Because our American system was pieced together from many different cultures, we have different usages of the same word. And so you're going to have to pay attention to context to know if it is a fluid ounce and you should be using 8 ounces to a cup, or if it is the weight ounce and you should be using 16 ounces to 1 pound. I strongly recommend to you making flashcards and working at memorizing these. It would be great if you worked at memorizing before you started your homework and then tried to do your homework recalling the conversions. However, you will not have to have them memorized until your assessment. So here together online, we're going to do some examples, and I specifically picked the examples that are a tick harder. The examples that are a tick easier, I think that you'll manage just fine on your own. So this first one is a tick harder because we do not memorize a direct conversion between meters and inches. So what we have memorized is that when we memorize the metric system, we memorize that there are 100 centimeters to 1 meter. And that was below our metric line as one of the conversions that was just helpful to know as a memorized fact. As we memorize conversions between systems, we are memorizing that there are 2.54 centimeters to 1 inch. So in order to do the conversion from meters to inches, I am going to set up dimensional analysis. I fully recognize that there are other ways that the problem could be done, but we are also working on the dimensional analysis skill, so I'm going to apply it here. In dimensional analysis, I take my starting amount, 1.2 meters, and I place it over 1 so that it is a fraction. I put a multiply sign and a fraction bar because I know that's the setup for dimensional analysis. Now I need to cancel meters, so I will put in the denominator that 1 meter is 100 centimeters, and that cancels the label of meters. Centimeters is not my ending label, so I put a dot and my fraction bar to continue converting. I'll use my next piece of memorized information, which is that there are 2.54 centimeters to every inch. Placing centimeters on the bottom so that it cancels the label of centimeters that is on the top of my fraction. This is the answer that I want, so it's time to do my math. So on my calculator, I am typing in 1.2 times 100 and then dividing by 2.54, and I get an answer of 47.244, and it continues. The directions here tell me to round to the nearest tenths. Tenths is 1 decimal. When I look next door to that, I have a 4, so my answer is 47.2 because the 4 does not round the 2 up, inches. I think we have time to do one more example in this video, and so for our next example, we're going to be working with an infant that is measured in pounds and ounces. This example is more challenging because it starts off with 2 separate labels, and so it's going to need to be done in 2 separate parts. When I think about weight conversions, the things that I have memorized are there 16 ounces is equal to 1 pound, and that 2.2 pounds is equal to 1 kilogram. So as far as a strategy, I am going to take the ounces portion of the baby's weight and convert that to pounds. So step 1 is going to be ounces to pounds. My second step, I'm going to add the pounds and get a total weight for the infant. So I'm going to get a total weight in pounds. And then my third and final step is going to be to take those pounds to kilograms. So let's give it a try. My strategy is to start with the ounces. So I'll start 13 ounces over 1. I want to convert it, so I put a multiply and a fraction bar. I need to put 16 ounces in the denominator so it cancels 1 pound up top. So ounces cancels. And my math is going to be 13 divided by 16. I get as an answer for that 0.8125. And this is now pounds. So my next step, strategy-wise, is to get the total weight. So this is the decimal for the ounces. And in addition to that, the child did weigh 8 whole pounds. So adding those together, I have a total weight of 8.8125 pounds as the total weight for this child. I'm supposed to get to kilograms, so I'm going to put this over 1 so that it is a fraction. The conversion that I'm memorizing, I'll put a Dot for multiply, I'll put my fraction bar, is that there are 2.2 pounds, so that goes on the bottom to cancel, for every 1 kilogram. And again, I'll multiply, and in this case, multiplying straight across, then my only math is to divide. So on my calculator, I'm typing in 8.8125 pounds, and I'm dividing by 2.2, and I get an answer of 4.00568, and it continues. I am told here to round to thousands. Thousands is the third decimal place, so I want to round the 5. I look next door, and it is a 6, so it is going to round up. So I'll have an answer of 4.006 kilograms. So that's enough for this video. We will do some additional examples in the next video of these conversions that are a little bit more challenging than the norm.